All right, traders, so I'm just getting back from the restaurant. The Asian session is just kicking off, so we got a little bit of movement here. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another live trading video. I am here in my lucky lizard shirt. Hopefully this brings us some better trades today. I've been on a losing streak, dealing with that, and about to jump into some trades. But before we get into that, before the Asian session gets going, I'm going to dinner with my girlfriend. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Catherine. So we're gonna go to this restaurant here, have something to eat, and then I'll get back in time for the Asian session, and we'll do some more live trading. Let's go.
A few moments later.
Guys, don't eat like us. This is a mac and cheese burger. There's mac and cheese, bacon, and burger. MK got tenders and fries. And then we got this worm, dirt and worms. I'm telling you, we don't eat it like this every day. It's just like every other day. All right, traders, so I'm just getting back from the restaurant. The Asian session is just kicking off, so we got a little bit of movement here. I'm actually taking a position here, I think, on the S&P 500. I like what I see here, and today we actually got a really nice bearish candle for the first time in quite a while. You can actually see the S&P has been on an absolute tear, and I actually like the idea of getting short here, which sounds a little bit risky, and that's because it is, because this pair moves quite a bit. But I do like what I'm seeing here on some of the lower time frames, and I'll break down exactly why I take that trade. But before I do, let me go ahead and enter into this position, and I will go ahead and share it with members. If you are not already a member of our community, by the way, you can find out information in the description down below. There's a link to join the A1 trading community. We've got chat rooms. You can see the trades being shared by myself as well as some of the other analysts. And yeah, so check that out if you're interested. So let me go ahead and join this and send out my trade idea to the group. Will I finally made some profit on those S&P short?
Let's go, baby.
Frank would be proud, but he's no longer here. He went back to school.
You took another short on it?
Yeah, you'll see the content a little bit. I filmed a kind of good one. This was a good runner.
You're getting like me and Frank, Nick.
I know.
That's all you need to trade.
All right, and there we go. I just got short here on the old S&P 500. Let me read off what I just shared to members. I basically said that I just took a short on the S&P 500. My idea being basically I actually joined Frank, which is another analyst here at A1 Trading. He's been short on the S&P, so he's already kind of riding this. We'll see if we can get a little bit more out of it, and hopefully the train hasn't already left the station on me. But we'll see if we can get some more downside here. I said I think we potentially have more downside on the U.S. indices short term. They have gotten quite extended, and a lot of times when we start to see the dip, they can actually dip for a few days rather than just come right back up. So hopefully this time it actually plays out and we can make some money on this one. Basically trying to ride today's downward momentum that we saw, like I mentioned. Hopefully that lasts a few days. If it does, we should be able to make a good profit. And I placed a stop relatively close by. I love that price failed to rise relatively quickly, right? We actually saw price came up and immediately got sold off here just a few hours later. And ideally would like to see price break through the previous low. Otherwise, as I mentioned, I'm just going to get out of the trade. So my stop here is relatively close by. You can actually see, so we had this kind of move to the upside and very quickly price gap back down here into the Asian session and starting off strong. I basically want to be holding on to this weakness, right? Being short here. Otherwise, if price rises, just get me out of this trade because we've seen what can happen with this, this indice, right? If we look at the daily chart, we don't want to get caught up in all of this. If I'm short, then keep me out of that. You guys can have it. If you guys are the bulls, then by all means, have fun with it. But when it comes to looking at things from the bearish perspective, I like the idea of just trying to hop in and ride some momentum if it's there. And if it's not, go ahead and get me out of this trade, especially on these US indices, because again, they can do their thing and they can just chug and chug and chug. And I don't really want to get caught up in that. So what I've done is, again, on those lower time frames, looking predominantly here at the 1 hour and the 15-30 minute chart, shorter time frames, we've got some downward momentum. I want to see if it continues. And my bet basically here is that if we get increased volatility and we get more downside to come, keep me in the trade. And if we don't, then just get me out of the trade. So that's my idea. Very, very simple concept. We'll see if we can get some momentum to continue. Ideally, the big one looking out here, if we drop it down to the 15-minute chart, you can see it pretty well. We had this level of temporary support hold, but what I liked is the failure there very quickly, which makes me think, okay, I think we actually could break through this, and I want to catch that and anticipate that next break rather than trying to wait exactly for it to break out. I just, I have a strong belief that there is a lot of momentum to the downside here, and that the chances are if price wants to break out, it will probably break strong. Otherwise, again, just going to take my stop there, risking relatively small for the potential upside here that a dip like this could have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here. I'll come back shortly with an update as of whether I win or lose. I'll post this on YouTube. I've had a couple losers lately, so hopefully we can catch some pips on this one. But again, I'm going to take what the market gives me, and I'll keep you guys posted. So stay tuned. So this is on the myfxbook.com website. They've got a little sentiment tool here, and what it is it's basically showing the sentiment of people who are using this online forum. And here on the US 500, which is the SPX500, which is what we're trading, you can actually see that currently most traders here are actually long. Now, if you remember, I'm short on this position, which is actually where I want to be. I'd rather be where the majority are not. I'd rather be in the minority here, trying to capture some of the against the retail investors, which again, not to be negative or anything, but a lot of times these guys are wrong. The majority are what lose money in trading. And so a lot of times I'm looking to be involved, if I can, with the minority. Not all the time, and this doesn't always work out. I've had some losing trades just trying to do this in the past, so it's not a guarantee or anything. But again, SPX very, very long biased right now. And as we had just seen, the markets are down quite a bit. And so people are probably trying to buy into this, whereas we were looking to actually grab shorts, which worked out in our favor.
Meanwhile,
I'm just focusing, okay?
Julie is literally in here listening to SpongeBob SquarePants music.
I gotta focus.
I can't hate though, because I was the one who was talking about it, and then she just turned it on. All right, traders, so we were able to finally capture a pretty good move here on the S&P 500. It is a Friday though, so I don't want to hold this thing over the weekend. So I've actually gone ahead and set in a target there. It looks like we might just about get hit here and get trailed out of the trade. I did end up, usually I'll let my trades trail in, but just because of the nature of it being a Friday and I don't want to hold this position over the weekend, there it is. I am out of the trade, caught a really nice move here. After price basically came back and retested that area, we saw a move here that I wanted to jump in on. Basically, we saw price coming back here, but then when we saw the kind of failure here to continue higher, the rejection here was really kind of convincing for me to jump back into that short. And fortunately, we were able to close back underneath some of those levels that I was watching, and we broke underneath this trend line, got some nice breakdown to the downside. And there very well may be more downside here for the rest of the day, but just by the nature of the S&P 500, holding it over the weekend can be a dangerous thing. It can gap all over the place. It's a very, very volatile pair or indice. So I've gone ahead and just taken the profit there, but really nice winner here actually. And the cool thing is my size on this trade was a bit bigger than the previous trade, so it actually covered a nice profit there. I think this was just about a 1.3, maybe 1.4 to 1, meaning my initial stop was right here. I took my entry here, and I took profits right around here, which let's say just about a 1.3, 1.4 times my initial risk. So happy with this trade, was able to make some good profit on it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Again, really just going off of the momentum to the downside. I just wanted to jump in, join the trend, and my initial trade was not a great one. You saw me get stopped out there, unfortunately, but once we started seeing some signs of rejection, that's where I wanted to try it again, and fortunately it worked out for us here on the secondary trade, resulting in a nice profit there. Overall, going to end out the week on a profit just because of this one trade. That's the cool thing about, getting one good runner, is that it can make up for all the small losses that you take previously. So that one trade ended up cashing out big, and we'll be back next week. Maybe we'll catch some more trades. And if momentum continues, for those of you guys who may be asking, well, what are you going to do next about it? If momentum continues into next week, then I certainly will be looking for more downside on the S&P. But I don't want to just jump in and just hold this thing over the weekend, because again, it can be all over the place. So I'll be waiting patiently for a potential another setup if we get it maybe next week. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this live trading video. Make sure to leave a like down below and join us in the community if you're interested. You can find out information in the description down below. Cheers and have a nice weekend.